Hi guys, welcome to my final presentation. My name is Andrea Huerta, and today I'm going to be presenting my final project for this class. The title of this project is Supporting Diverse Learners Through Inclusion Practices. For my pre-work, um, I'm going to be talking about the topics of inclusion and communication, support for students with disabilities. Reason I chose this topic was because I work with these students every day. Some have visual impairments, some have, you know, a difficulty communicating, and some definitely like sticking with routine. My goal for this pre-work that I had was to understand how teachers use inclusive practices in real classrooms and to focus on areas such as UDL, communication, and family involvement and equity. This is the slide for my interview. So I spoke to Mrs. Campbell, which is a special education teacher that I work for. She shared that communication is the foundation of inclusion. She explained that visual schedules, sensory tools, calm areas, like a corner in the classroom, and predictable routines help students regulate and participate. She also emphasized how collaboration with general education teachers help students' IPE goals. She also discussed how family involvement strengthens students' progress. This is the interview questions that I asked. If you guys have time, you could take a look um, through these slides. The course material that I used was a lot of them. So Hughes teaches about personal centered planning and seeing the whole child. Gorski taught us how bias and equality impact students' experiences. Rossetti explained universal design and how removing barriers beforehand supports inclusion, and the CAS UDL guidelines, of course, explain how multiple means of engagement and representation support all learners. These readings helped me, you know, connect my interview to the research and inclusive education, the research on this inclusive education. For my research, I included, um, well, I definitely observed the classroom that I work in, comparing strategies to UDL, reviewing the course material, and analyzing the information from the interview. I focused on how communication improves students' outcome, how routine reduces anxiety, and how equity supports help, like visuals, and also how inclusive practices create structure, belonging, and independence. The evidence I collected showed several key findings. Many students depend on visual support and step by step guides, sensory tools, and help reduce stress and support them self regulate. Um, practices, these practices definitely help these students, especially because I have this experience with one of my students that I work with. Um, Predictable routine helps students, and not only those with disabilities, but making a powerful, inclusive strategy for all students. These are evidence visual step-by-steps that I got from Mrs. Campbell. So she definitely has used these images for helping tools in the classroom. She uses a lot the first and then step and reward system, such as I'm working forward to a sticker, I'm working forward to going to recess. So, for example, she uses first, we're going to do writing, morning writing group, and then we're going to go to PE. And if you complete these two tasks, you're going to be receiving a sticker or a so and so dance party in the classroom. And these visuals and step-by-step reward systems, first and then systems, are printed out into a cute little laminated plastics, and it's super cute. The students are very engaged with these images, and this is just an example of the evidence that Mrs. Campbell was trying to show us, visual tools. For new inclusion learning, I learned that inclusion is more than placing a student in a classroom. It means creating emotional safety, clear access, and dignity. Students succeed most when expectations are clear and supports are consistent. I learned that inclusion requires strong communication between teachers, families, and students. UDL helps teachers meet diverse needs without isolating any student. So, new learning for equity means giving each student the support that they need, which is not always the same for every learner. Accommodations are not extra, they remove barriers and allow the students to feel safe. I learned that family involvement is a huge part of equitable support. I also learned that teachers must be aware of their own biases so that they can provide fair opportunities to every student. Um, so I still have new questions that I still have, which are how can schools provide better training for teachers and one-on-one aids? That's still further research that we still need to continue to do. As all know, I work at an elementary school with a student who needs my help. The school did not give me enough training. So that's a question that should be answered. How can educators reduce biases in classrooms? What new technologies can support communication needs, and how can general education and special education collaborate better? I have a few questions for my peers. What is one inclusion strategy you believe all classrooms should use and why? The second one is how can teachers create a stronger sense of belonging for students with disabilities? Thank you guys for watching my presentation. These are some references.